Back here again with one more new video. In the yesterday's period we had learned about the how to draw the crystal system as well as the types of a packing in the solid. So we have seen the one dimensional packing, two dimensional packing and three dimensional packing, right? So in the today's lecture we will be talking about the different types of voids present, then how to calculate those voids, as well as we are going to see the kinds of different kinds of defects. So let's come here, let's talk about the void. Types of voids, right? So what is a void? Void is nothing but one kind of a hole. Void is nothing but called as the hole. So where is exactly the hole? Let's say this is one constituent particle, this is one constituent particle, this is one constituent particle. Then the hole which is present in between is said to be the void, right? Or it is also called to be the hole. Now basically there are four types of a void. Number one, trigonal void. Number two, tetrahedral void. Number three, octahedral void. Number four, cubic void. Right? So there are four types of a void: trigonal void, tetrahedral void, octahedral void and cubic void. See, this is very important concept, and most of the time the problems are being asked on this particular types of voids, right? Even the question can be asked for 2 marks. What are the types of a void? Trigonal, tetrahedral, octahedral and cubic void, right? So let's understand one by one. So this is our first void, right? In this case there are three constituent particles, 1, 2, 3, and the void is formed in between. So this becomes the trigonal void, right? In the case of trigonal void, the coordination number is equals to 3. Yes, in the yesterday's period I told you what is the coordination number. Coordination number is nothing but whenever the nearest neighbor atoms which are surrounded. So in this case of a whole trigonal void, we can see 1, 2 and 3 constituent particles are there, right? Or 3 spheres are there. That is why the coordination number will be equals to 3. Okay, let's move further. Second one, tetrahedral void. So see, one constituent particle, second constituent particle, third constituent particle. So 1, 2, 3, and above this there will be one more constituent particle, right? So this particular void becomes the tetrahedral void, right? This becomes the tetrahedral void. I'll make it in the form of shades. Now are you able to identify? This is tetrahedral. See, 1, 2, 3 and 4, and there is a hole. So this is what is called as the tetrahedral void. So what will be the coordination number? The coordination number in this case will be 4, right? So this is very simple. In this case there are 3 atoms, in this case there are 4 atoms, so the coordination number will be 4 and the coordination number will be 3 in this case. Then coming for the third one, octahedral voids. How to draw the octahedral voids? One particle here, one particle here, one particle here. So one particle at the bottom, one particle here, one particle here. See, try to understand how many number of particles are there. I'll shade this. Now are you able to identify? This is one triangle and this is one triangle, right? So two triangles are there, 1, 2, 3, non-shaded portions 3 and 1, 2, 3, right? Shaded portions 3. That means the total becomes the 6 constituent particles. Now the void which is happening in between this is said to be the octahedral void, right? I hope that you have understood it. How many number of particles are there? There are 6 particles, so the coordination number will be equals to 6, right? I hope that you have understood this. Okay, then coming to the next one, that is the cubic void. How the cubic void is formed? Now in this case, cubic void is formed mostly in the BCC lattice. See, this is one particle, this is one particle, this is one particle, this is one particle, right? So 4 particles are in a plane, right? And other 4 particles are below and above the plane. See, try to understand. 4 particles are in a plane, rest of the 4 particles are below and above the plane, and the void is formed in the between. So see, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this becomes your cubic void. See, we can also draw this cubic void like this for a body centered cubic lattice, BCC lattice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, right? And at the center of the body there is a hole, right? So between the 8 particles one void is formed, that is said to be the cubic void, right? I hope that this particular concept is clear to all of you. Now what will be the coordination number? Coordination number will be equals to 8. So coordination number for trigonal is 3, coordination number for tetrahedral is 4, coordination number for octahedral is 6, and coordination number for the cubic is 8. Okay, let's move further. Now let's calculate the size. We'll see one table. That table is very, very important. You all have to note down that table. So make a table. Make a table. This will be a coordination number. This will be a size of a hole. This will be a type of a hole. And this will be the example, right? So are you understanding it? Coordination number, size of a hole, type of a hole, and example. So let's do one by one. Number 1, trigonal void. For trigonal void, example is B2O3. Size of the hole ranges from 0.155 to 0.225. So this is the size of the hole. Remember, these are the standard sizes what I am giving it to you. Then number 2 will be tetrahedral void. Tetrahedral void. The example will be here ZNS. It ranges from 0.225 and it goes till the 0.414, right? Then third one will be octahedral void. In case of octahedral void, it will be, the example will be NaCl and it ranges from 0.414 to 0.732, right? And the last one will be a cubic void. So let's take the example of cubic void. In the cubic void, the value will be above 0.732. This is cubic void. Example will be CSCl, right? I hope that you have understood this table. This table is very, very important, right? Now what is the coordination number? Sorry, I am supposed to write the coordination number over here, right? So let's write the coordination number. Okay, so the coordination number for this trigonal void is 3. We know what is the trigonal void, surrounded by the 3 atoms. This is surrounded by the 4 atoms, so 4. Surrounded by the 6 atoms, so 6. Surrounded by the 8 atoms, so it will become 8. So coordination number for trigonal is 3, for tetrahedral is 4, for octahedral is 6, and for cubic is 8, right? Now based on this particular standard sizes, we can also calculate the size of the particular holes. Now for example, how to calculate the size of the holes? Size of the holes can be calculated mathematically by using the formula of a radius to ratio rule. Radius to ratio rule. Now what is this exactly, radius to ratio rule? Radius to ratio rule formula is R plus by R minus. Now what is this R plus by R minus? Size of the cation divided by size of the anion, right? So this is what is called as the formula for the radius to ratio rule. R plus by R minus, that is the size of the cation by the size of the anion. By using this particular formula, we can calculate the coordination number as well as the sizes of the particular anion and the cation, right? I hope that you have understood this. So let's do the calculation. We'll take one problem. So example number 1. I request all the students to note down this example. This is very, very important. Example number 1. Predict the coordination number of CS plus ion in the crystal of CSCl, in the crystal of CSCl, where the RCS plus, see, size of the cation is equals to 1.69 Armstrong and RCl minus, that is the size of the anion, is equals to 1.81 Armstrong, right? So what is the question given? What are you need to predict? You need to predicting the coordination number, right? So in this case, they have already given you the sizes. Sizes 1.69 for the cation and 1.81 for the anion, right? What we need to predict is the coordination number. Okay, we'll continue. Then let's find out the answer. The formula is R plus divided by R minus. So what is the R plus? Here R plus is nothing but RCS plus divided by RCl minus, right? So what is the size? 1.69 divided by 1.81, the value will be 0.935, right? Are you understanding it? The value will be something between 0.935 or 937 something. So where does it falls now? 0.935, see, it falls here in a cubic void. You can see when the cubic void is present, whenever the value is above 0.732, it will be said as the cubic void. So the geometry is cubic void. Geometry is cubic void, right? And what will be the what will be the coordination number? We all know coordination number for the cubic void is 8. I hope that you have understood this example. Okay, now let's take one more example and then you will understand it more clearly. The problem will be somewhat similar. Predict the coordination number of Na plus ion in the crystal of NaCl, where size of Na plus Rna plus is equals to 0.95 Armstrong and size of Cl minus anion is equals to 1.81. We have seen it in the earlier problem, right? So let's do it. Formula is R plus by R minus. So what is R plus here? Cation is Na, so Rna plus, anion is Cl, so RCl minus. So 0.95 divided by 1.81, the answer will be 0.524, right? So where does it falls now? See, this category 0.41 4 to 0.732, इनके बीच में ये वाला वैल्यू आता है 0.524. So this particular value is falling in between this. That is why the geometry will be, the geometry of the crystal will be octahedral void. Octahedral void, right? Are you understanding it? So this will be octahedral void. What is the coordination for the octahedral? Coordination number is equals to 6. I hope that you have understood this particular problem. Remember, my dear students, that this particular problems are very, very important. It can be asked in the board exam for 1 mark in a VSA. That is the very short answers. Okay, let's move further. Let's see in the particle arrangement how we can observe or how we can predict. इसका जो पार्टिकल अरेंजमेंट होता है उसमें कैसे फाइंड आउट करेंगे हम? Now let's see. See, this is one particle, this is one particle, this is third, this is fourth, this is fifth. See, try to understand, my dear students, these particles are closely held with each other, all the particles. But only for your understanding I am drawing it like this, right? So see, this is one, this is two, in between there will be third one. 1, 2, third one. 1, 2, third one will be here. 1, 2, third one will be here, right? 1, 2, third one will be here. 1, 2, third one will be here. 1, 2, third one will be here, right? Let's draw one particle here, one particle here, right? For your understanding. Okay, now let's look at the trigonal void. Trigonal void is very, very simple. See, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, in between the three particles, 1, 2, 3, in between the three particles, 1, 2, 3, trigonal void, 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 right? I hope that you have understood the trigonal void, but understanding the tetrahedral void and the octahedral void is very, very important, right? So let's understand the tetrahedral void now. I'll take the other pen. So see here, one particle is 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 here, right? So this becomes your tetrahedral void. This is tetrahedral, this is tetrahedral, this is tetrahedral, 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 right? I'll just shade the portion so that you will be able to identify. Are you able to identify? See, the shaded portion becomes the tetrahedral void. I have purposely used the different pen, different marker. See, now here, unshaded portion, 1, 2, 3 and one particle at the top, right? So what it becomes? It becomes a tetrahedral void. So 4 particles, again see, 1, 2, 3, one unshaded portion at the top. So this becomes the particular tetrahedral void. See again here, 1, 2, 3 and one at the top. So this becomes a tetrahedral void. Again see, 1, 2, 3 and one at the top, one more particle at the top. So this becomes the tetrahedral void. Okay, now let's understand the octahedral void. Octahedral void, how many number of atoms are surrounded? 6 atoms are surrounded, right? So see, unshaded portion, try to understand. Come little bit closer. 1, 2, 3. This is shaded 1, 4, 5 and 6. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this becomes one octahedral void. 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Octahedral void. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Octahedral void. Right? So this becomes the octahedral void. So I hope that you have understood in the particle arrangement how to identify the types of voids. That is the octahedral void and the tetrahedral void and trigonal void. Right? Okay. Now further we'll be moving towards the last part of the chapter of this particular session. That is the types of defects. Right? So there are different types of defects are observed in the crystal, that is divided into 2 types, that is stoichiometric defect and non-stoichiometric defect. Right? Stoichiometric defect is also said to be a point defect. Non-stoichiometric defect is also said to be a line defect. Right? So point defect and line defect. Then comes the further classification. Stoichiometric defects are further classified as vacancy defect, then interstitial defect, then they are also classified as Schottky defect, and last one vacancy, interstitial, Schottky. And here there are 2 types: metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect, right? So here in this case you have, right, so the metal excess defect, metal deficiency defect, here vacancy defect, interstitial defect, Schottky defect, and the fourth one is Frankel defect, right? So this is the Frankel defect. So my dear students, for today's lecture we will only understand what are the types of defects. Tomorrow when we come, we'll be doing this, what is stoichiometric, what is non-stoichiometric, why they are called as point, why they are called as line, then what are the types of defects under this. We will understand each and every defect in a detail, right? So for today's session it is enough. We'll come tomorrow with one more new video. Thank you very much.